them, not to kill them, just to scare them.
That's a great way to go. Great thing to go live with. That's great. We're talking about my birds in the background. So if you hear them, Tristan suggests that I get out a BB gun. I'm going to go ahead and not get out a BB gun and just enjoy their presence. And I hope you enjoy the sound in the background of this podcast episode, which is episode 109, which I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is going to probably be my favorite episode that we ever do. And
wow.
I really believe it. I think so. So what we're going to do today is I did a recap episode to SocialCon, which was April 3rd and 4th in LA. And I did it by myself and I kind of just talked through some things, but I didn't get super specific on a lot of the feedback. And since then we've gotten more feedback. And so I thought this would be really fun. First of all, we greatly appreciate everyone who took the time to, first of all, attend either live or virtually. And we doubly appreciate those who took the time to give us their feedback. Most was great. Some was actually really well received and like useful for how we can improve. And then there was a handful of you that just didn't like us, and that's okay. And so I'm going to start here. It really was very minimal on the dislike. The one thing that I want to do next time, Tristan, is as you're looking through this feedback form, which we're not going to share it on the screen. If you're watching us, lucky for you, you just get us today. But what I like to do is we specifically put in, how would you rate various speakers, hosts, et cetera. And I'm just going to start. I'm not going to talk about the speakers because it was for everyone. It was mainly very positive, except I told in this, I said, the next time we do this, when it says, how would you rate your host, Tristan? How would you rate your host, Jeff? Like I would say, if not a 5, 1 to 5 is the answer. And 5 is the best. And I say, if it's not a 5, why? And because I want to know, somebody doesn't like you, Tristan, because they put a 1. I don't know if that was a joke.
It's probably it. You know who it was? It was my wife.
Probably well deserved then. And I got 2 3s, and we both had some 4s. So I'm just curious. Like, tell me why? Because first of all, we can both take it if we did or said something wrong, and that's not on you because we didn't put it into the feedback form. But if you're listening to this, we might read off some of your feedback. We don't have your names. This was all anonymous. So, if it was you, hey, give us a hand raise if you listen to this somewhere, or a text or a message or something, and let us know what you thought. If you want to expand upon our reviews, like I said, we can take it. So,
I love
Tristan,
that, dude.
I'm going to let you start. I'm going to let you pick a comment and let's give our feedback to it or
All right,
explanation.
Let's go. We're going to skip for the rating of everybody, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And let's go. By the way, most of the ratings, if you're not seeing this, everyone, most of them were really good, which was great. And of course, we can't please everybody, like Jeff said, so that's fine. Let's go. The first one, what were your biggest takeaways and aha moments? What struck you the most? We had quite a few responses on this one. And when I looked through it, I found that most people were saying there was one that encompassed everything here. This is what I think, Jeff, the one I agreed with the most: consistency. Because if you consistently read through all of these responses, you'll find the word consistency in some way or shape. And I think that's a really big one, man, that it's an aha. It was an aha for me too. Like, it just showed how when Austin was talking, it's just consistent. The fact that he had to throw the video up 3 times, same video, same platform, 3 different times, spread out over a few weeks, and then finally it hit. I'm like, damn, that's consistency right there that I don't even have. Yeah. Right? So I really like that one. There were some other ones in there, like use AI tools, actionable tactics for larger reach, stop the scroll, which is the shirt Jeff is wearing right now. If you're not seeing it, you can order those on DrunkonSocial.com. Facebook Reels natively, which was a big aha for me, and make use of AI syllabi.io, which is a great company.
I like the next one. Yeah.
How bad realtors need training on social media.
Well, and first of all, not just realtors, probably every industry on the planet for that matter, or most industries on the planet, except for maybe social media creators. Yeah. That's interesting because over the last several years, we've had an abundance of social media influencers, quote unquote, experts at every real estate conference. And the truth is that kind of is part of the driver for why we did this conference. And it was to bring in non-real estate social media experts, influencers, to share the outside the box thinking and the innovation.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was good. I really like that. I will say this, the one thing I'm going to go back to the very first one. And I will, I'm going to take a shot at our own structure and planning of this event. It turned out, first of all, about as good as I think it could have. I was very pleased with it. I'm really glad that we ended up having to push back the dates. The one thing that I would say I want to do better next time is we didn't, and this was kind of intentional. We did not, when we talked to our keynotes, we did not give them instruction or direction on what to speak about. We knew enough about them and said, do you bring value to the audience, something tangible and tactical they can walk away with? And I would say what ended up happening was a lot of the messages were fairly similar in different ways, but very similar. So next SocialCon, which we're planning already for next year, I want to be very intentional with our keynotes so that each one has a very specific and different topic related to social.
So a different message that has to do with social.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I want to be better about that.
Yeah, that's really good. But the cool thing that happened in this one is that, and this is why we find similar answers here, all about consistency, is that it was clear all across the board that it really comes down to consistency. Dude, the first one, look at the first one, similar strategies from many of the presentations that really hammers those ideas home. Pillars of content, post. Don't worry about time and day or number of posts, just do it. That sums up the whole event minus all the details and strategies and tactics, right? But that's it, dude. I like it. All right, you want to read the next one?
Yeah, the next question was give at least one social media strategy that you can implement today. Well, this was probably day two, and day two and day one were fairly similar. I think this is kind of going to recap what you just talked about. I'll tell you what, going down towards the bottom, one of you gave a very detailed response. I mean, you really literally wrote Kenya, and I'll read this to you. And so this person gave a very detailed review of not every speaker, but most of them. So they said, Kenya, everyone else is hopping off TikTok. So you stay on and get ahead of the game. Also going live, which was a big takeaway from her. London, Pro Diversification. On TikTok, be a TikToker. On YouTube, be a YouTuber, which was very true. Like every platform's a little different. Now, I will say this, if you didn't listen to this or watch this, London also said that if you're more of an advanced creator, you want to diversify and be specific to the platform. If you're not super advanced, it's okay. Just spread the same content across every platform. It depends where you're at in the journey. They talk about the panel from day one, which I loved. The day one panel. Your space on social media is rented, not owned. Save your content and post it everywhere, and don't rely just on one platform. So that kind of goes against what I just mentioned about London. Dylan, give value through opposition and be true to yourself. Austin, micro hooks. Keep hooking the viewer. It's not just in the beginning. Keep hooking them throughout your videos.
Keep cooking them too. I like that. You got to keep cooking them too.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea. That goes back to shooting birds in the beginning.
Okay. We won't talk about that.
Panel 2, paid ad strategy. Boost a video every single week that's focused on a specific audience. That's interesting because I actually don't remember that conversation.
That was it was two people who brought that up on paid ad strategy, which I think Zach talked about it a little bit, which is good. I like that. I like that. What's your favorite or most unforgettable happening from the event? there's a lot of good things. You think we can read them? Yeah,
For
I think we
me,
can start. Yeah. What about you?
It was Kennedy Hart, Kennedy's rap, Kennedy's poem song.
Uh,
That caught me off guard, and I didn't know that was coming, and I was super impressed by that. I was entertained by Ed joking about the plagiarism, joking but not joking, because he kept joking about that on that was day one panel, and it was really funny, and every answer was plagiarism. That was good. That
that
was
was
really good.
good. That was good. There are a lot of answers here. I would say there's one that says, honestly, the entire experience and people I met will be unforgettable.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a few people call out the VIP dinner, which
Yeah.
was cool. I didn't expect that. But the VIP dinner was a great experience because you really got to sit down with everybody. It was
Yeah,
good.
actually, that's a great point. The lunches too. I was surprised. I knew the dinner would be good. The lunches were better than I thought they would be.
Right?
It was well organized. Everybody who paid, and so just for those of you that didn't get to attend, our speakers, one of the things I asked of them, we were very undirectional when it came to what they talked about, but I was very directional in their presence, and I said, please be present. I'm not asking you to sit through the event the entire time if you don't want to. Some did, but I said just be present. And so we had a great attendance at the lunches, at the dinner of all of the speakers. And I know that was one of the favorite pieces of the conference was that you really got an opportunity to spend time with these people. The VIPers got, I mean, I'll bet you, Tristan, we get a 100% return on our VIPs at next year's SocialCon because they got so much out of it. And I know it's a big nut. It's not cheap. But it's, it helps us put these events on. And, honestly, if you've ever done an event, the cost for food at a hotel, you'll quickly understand. It's very, very expensive, but I'll tell you, dude, I loved it. I want to add to it. I want to do a vendor happy hour next time,
Ooh, yes.
immediately after the event, right out in the open, sponsored by the vendors, and everybody's having drinks and get to spend time with the vendors. But yeah, dude, the time with the people, that's always the best though, man. And I know you didn't feel this, but each night we spent a bunch of us spent time together in the bar,
I
and
saw that.
that was valuable. I mean, yeah.
I like it, man. I think it's great. I think uh transitioning to the next question, because it's similar. What are your suggestions that we can start doing for the next event? This can be about anything, the people, the process, the systems, the venue, the flow. Hands down, the number one thing was like, hey guys, maybe you should prepare a little bit more. That's pretty much what a lot of people said, which was great.
Prepare in
And
what way?
like schedule, we said originally it was going to end at 2. It went a little
Yeah.
further. Everyone should get lunch instead. I'm like, I don't know about that, but we should give the handbooks should be a little bit different, more just a lot of little things that could have made the experience a little bit better. And I think it all came down to this is our first time running the event, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to see how it would go. So I think we broke even, which was great. We actually ended up making a tiny little bit. I think, right, Jeff? I think.
I don't know. Actually, we're
Yeah.
not even there yet.
Uh,
We're not even a week past it yet. So yeah, we're still, there's still bills coming in.
yeah.
Um,
So I think for the most part, I loved the responses, and
yeah,
I think we're
a
gonna
longer
implement.
lunch, a longer lunch,
Yeah.
more vendor time, which was probably mostly from the vendors, I would assume, and rightfully so. That
Yep.
is something they should say. One thing I read, and I don't remember if oh yeah, it's in the next one, so I'll save it for that.
Well, read the
Uh,
next one. What are your suggestions that we can continue doing?
Well, yeah, I think one of the things that what resonated well, which was great to hear, was about how not professional we are, and it's not stuffy, and it's very laid back, and
Oh,
um, when you're reading through like just how you and I interact, and
yeah.
it's far from scripted, and we just roll, and it was really refreshing to hear everybody say they really enjoyed that. Um, I loved reading that.
You know what was a surprise to me in reading that and the previous two? was the game. I didn't really think that people would enjoy the game, but they did. I was like, oh, that
That's
was
great.
cool.
The shout out to Ann on that. That was all her idea. That was great. And actually, yeah, I think we need to do more of that next year because it was surprising to me how when we did it and it just the names were pouring in. So we did this game on Kahoot and it was a hoot. It was fun.
It was fun. We should give away we gave away VIP, but we should also give away some merch by the time by that time we'll have more.
Yeah. Well, next year we could probably do some fun things with it. We could maybe even give away like a one-on-one coaching or something, or maybe even we could get creative with this and maybe host a 1 hour mastermind with 5 people. There's the top whatever. We could get really creative with this and make it super interesting and exciting.
I agree. All right. What are your suggestions that we can stop doing? This one made me laugh. This is so good. Oh man. And I don't know if this one's addressed at you or me, Jeff, but I know that we both did it and I do it on every single stage. Don't be on your phone as the host of the event on stage. It seems like you're not engaged and don't care to be there. Yeah, I love that feedback. But I'm going to continue to be on my phone on every single stage because it's social media.
So I addressed this in the post event podcast, and I did say I said, listen, it's great feedback, but understand why we're doing it. Number one, we have Q&A coming in on our phone. We have Q&A questions coming in live, and during the time that they might be speaking or that we're on stage. So that's how in tune we are. So in reverse, it might seem like we're like checked out. We're actually super in tune. It's not like I'm checking email and responding to my assistant, right? Or responding to a buyer or seller or borrower, right? It's very specific to social. And oftentimes, literally, Tristan, you posted while we were on stage. And so I think it's good feedback, but I want that person to understand that is our MO. We're pretty much unapologetic about it. And you're not the first person who said something, but I want you to understand, first of all, we love and respect you, whoever you are, but know that that's kind of a new age way of doing things based upon the type of event that we have. And so it's not going to change.
Be on your phone. Yeah. Okay. What are you suggesting that we continue this one? One more I wanted to add.
Yeah. I want to know this one. Actually, I don't remember how I brought it up, but somebody says that I brought up politics.
Oh, you were talking about Trump, how he got,
I was talking about the post that I did.
Yeah, that the post. I think they just misunderstood it. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for the person who said that, you should, if you know me, you know that I'm the most anti middle of the road. The only time I bring up politics is intentionally to spark algorithms. That's it. I don't do it because of my feelings about right, left, middle, or north or south, or whatever the hell it's called. I just do it to stir the pot. And that's exactly what I was explaining. So sorry if that offended you. I didn't mean.
Here's another one. Just so you can see that we can never please anyone, because in the previous one, you said you had somebody who said we should extend lunch.
Yeah.
In this one, you said, if you're not back from lunch on time, so sorry. Right. Like we need to even shorten lunch if possible. I'm like, holy crap. We can't please anybody, which is fine. Yeah. Which is fine. And by the way,
well, I think if we find a hotel with more lunch options, that was the problem. So what you gained by being close to the airport, you lost. So that was awesome. But what you lost having close lunch options.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
The other thing is, and some people said, don't get too expensive. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did.
Don't start raising prices. I mean, the thing we could do is raise the price to include the cost of lunch and breakfast, and maybe that is something we should do.
Or we can explain hey, the reason it's so cheap is because we're not including much, right?
Yeah.
So plus, we want to keep it close to the airport because I think the majority of people loved that.
I agree.
In and out. I was like, that was great. That was the best.
I like events where they're at the hotel. You don't have to go anywhere. It's convenient.
Yep.
It makes it easy. If I have to run up to the room to take a call or use the restroom, I can. That's nice.
Yep.
And I will say, and now let me address this one. The elephant in the room that we heard a lot of was you didn't give us pee breaks. Yeah, we had one 50-minute lunch break and that was it. And you just ran right through and I didn't want to miss anything. I don't think we can make everybody happy on that one. I don't disagree with that suggestion. And we thought about that. My thought process is, and some of you experienced it, after lunch, it's really hard to corral people into the room. And then it's kind of disrespectful to the people on stage as people are coming in and they're chatting. And so, if you do a 10 or 15-minute lunch break, is that even enough time? People go outside, they pee, and then they get on a phone call that takes 20 minutes. And then they're out in the hallway talking. And then, I don't know. I don't know. What's your take on that? We've done enough events. What was your take on the no potty breaks?
I hate breaks.
Okay.
Let's just get to it. Yeah. Shorten the damn lunch. We're here to learn, not to go pee.
Yeah.
You can pee later.
Also, we did end like 3:30 and 4 o'clock both days. We ended early, which is very unique. Our speakers were respectful of their time, everything.
We were on point. Yeah. All right. The other question we had, two more questions. How satisfied are you with the overall experience? 60% said they loved it, like fives. Almost 40% said they gave it a 4. So what would that be like? Almost
90%. 97%.
And then like 1% or less. What is it? 3%.
One person
gave it a 2. At least they didn't give it a 1. That's all I want to.
Well, that's the same person that said they're not coming back next year. So they're not probably listening right now anyway. So
look, that was the person that probably didn't like me. So there you go.
Well, yeah, or my politics.
Yes. Whatever. Who would you like to be as our next guest panelist or social media and real estate space? I think this one was a tough question to answer because what we did is we broke the norm and we brought in people you hadn't heard of, unless you're following us. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so I think that's an unfair question because I don't even, dude, from every answer, the only right answer on this thing was Mr. Beast, who we can't afford. He would do it for free if he came. Nobody else on this
response. Whoever you guys pick will be awesome. That's a good response.
And there you go, because you don't know, right? Because we're doing this.
And that is one thing. We did get some positive feedback, especially on day one. A lot of people said that we got several people that said they loved the fact that it was non-real estate centric. And actually, we're not real estate centric. We are by default, but we're the premise of this conference is not supposed to be. And so, yeah, we definitely need to keep going down that path. Yeah.
Agreed, dude. Agreed. All right. That's a wrap. Anything else?
Good stuff.
Is your bird still chirping?
There's one and a squirrel out there right now, but every few minutes there's like 15. So you just never know. They're taking a break right now.
People need breaks.
Yeah. So do birds.